Hi, my name is Dr. Lucy Meier from Third Coast Foot and Ankle, and today I'm going to talk blisters. Now, blisters on the feet, if you've ever had them, are excruciating. They're painful, and the best way to deal with them is prevention. So let's talk there first. The best way to prevent a blister is twofold. One, we want to make sure that our shoes are appropriately fitted. Now, this means a couple of different things. We want to make sure our toes can wiggle, we have enough space, that there is no seams that you can feel prominently rubbing in different areas, and there's not a lot of slippage. Now, the second part of making sure that our shoes are fitting appropriately is also to make sure that they are tied appropriately. Different lacing patterns can be very beneficial at making sure that our shoes stay tight. If you need more information about lacing patterns, check out our other videos because we do go over that there. But making sure that that shoe is tight, well fitted, and there's no active rubbing from the get-go. The second part of it is your socks. Now, socks can play a huge role in preventing blisters. Now, the first thing we need to understand is cotton is not good in this world. And so if you are an avid runner or walker, or if you're just somebody who's experiencing a lot of blisters on your feet, the first thing I want you to do is check out your socks, and if they're cotton, go ahead and get rid of them or put them to the side. These are not going to be your active socks. You actually want something that is made of multiple synthetic fibers that really have more of this like wicking action to them. What we're trying to do is pull the moisture away from the skin into the sock and then allow it to dry quickly. Now, there's tons of different brands out there, but the other thing I want to make sure is that your socks are fitting appropriately. If we have too big of socks, that can create different types of friction, which can then lead to blisters. Or if your socks are too small, they might squeeze those toes together tightly, which then also cause a point of friction. So not only do we have to focus on making sure that we are having our shoes appropriately fitted, but take some extra time to take a peek at your socks to make sure that they're appropriately fitted. Now, in additional to the material, you also want to make sure that your socks are as seamless as possible. So turning them inside out and kind of looking at how the seams are inside. Most performance running socks now are really good at having minimal to no seams inside. And the reason that's important is a seam just creates a prominence that can create friction, especially around the toes or kind of right where those toes meet the ball of the foot. Now, the second part of having a blister, sometimes they still happen, especially if we're running marathons, really long distances. There's only so much you can do to combat that overuse or over friction to that area. So if you do experience a blister, now it's time to treat it. Now, the debate is out there about whether or not to pop it or not pop it. Now, the consensus is to not pop it because as soon as you pop it, you do have some exposed flesh that can increase your risk to infection. Now, there are situations that we do pop blisters to ease comfort depending on how large they are and where they are located. If you have a really large painful blister, I would seek out medical attention to kind of safely treat it if there is any question on what to do next. But more importantly, we really just want to kind of support that area to ease on its own. There are blister bandages that you can use, keep the area well padded, try to reduce any additional friction on the area. We want to actually limit moisture to it, so it's not necessarily helpful to soak the foot when we're having blisters. You want to kind of keep that area dry, obviously keep it clean, soap and water like usual bathing, but no extra soaking to that area. Now, the third part is treating it if it does pop. So if it does pop, you do have exposed skin, so it can get infected. So we really want to watch and make sure that there's no redness or irritation. At this time, I would recommend using like an antiseptic type of material, whether it's Neosporin, temporarily on that area to try to prevent it. Obviously, any non-adhesive bandages to decrease that irritation. So blisters are really annoying and very commonly experienced, especially with our runners. And so focus on prevention. That will save you a lot of agony. If you have more questions or if you have a questionable blister that you need looked at, please feel free to reach out to us. My name is Dr. Lucy Meier from Third Coast Foot and Ankle. If this video was helpful, please hit the like button. That helps us immensely.